I'm Sarah Knight, and welcome to It's Got Pockets, where just like finding the surprise pockets in your favourite trousers, I'm bringing you perfect pockets of joy and realness. Every week, I'm having unfiltered conversations with women who crack the feck on, even when life gets proper lifey. Women with experience, expertise and wisdom. Because sometimes the best stories start in the middle. Women who've been there, done that, and they're still figuring it out. Join me for real talk, useful tactics, and all the swears in between that make your life and business feel that bit more manageable. Well, hello, here we are. Today, it's just me and you. Just me in your ear. In between my amazing guest speakers, what I'm doing is I'm bringing you little mini episodes of joy, of motivation, or just, a little chat, me to you, a little earworm in your ear, a little way of maybe looking at the world a little bit differently. Kate Richardson-Walsh talked in our chat last week about self-doubt, and it's got me thinking, it's a massive subject. It's one that comes up time and time again, and it is not dependent on where you are in your career. You don't suddenly become this confident bubble of bubbliness at some stage. It's what I thought. I genuinely thought that I'd get to a certain age and I'd have it all nailed. I'd know that this is what I was doing. This is how I was doing it. I'd have it all worked out. Crock of shit, my friends. There's no such thing that happens, because that little self-doubt, that second guessing, can come at us at all times, at all career levels, at all ages, at all life stages. And the way we deal with it is how we press play and crack on. It's so closely related to self-talk and that whole narrative that goes on in our supercomputers, our brains. I was told I couldn't sing. And this started really early on. So picture the scene. There I was, a little bouncy, possibly not bouncy, girl in primary school, and we were having our Christmas carol concert. And it was rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal. There we were singing, Sing Hosanna, a bit Silent Night, a bit of These Three Kings to the Persian Lands, something around that anyway. And I was in my little group and we were singing away quite happily. And the teacher turned around to me and said, "Sarah Knight, you cannot sing, just mime." So I did. So I mimed. I just believed what she said. I believed I couldn't sing. And I mimed. And that was my belief in myself. That's where the self-talk started. And then supercharged me into secondary school. Now, I went to a bit of a fancy pants secondary school, and we had this ridiculous Christingle service. I don't know if anyone's ever had one or done one or been to one. And the Christingle service was basically, I think it was when you were in your first year of school. Can't remember. It was a long, long time ago. But basically, the Christingle service was, you got an orange, and with your orange, you put in cocktail sticks, and then you put dolly mixtures on your cocktail sticks. I mean, I'm not sure what the resonance was with baby Jesus in a stable, but, we had an orange. I'm sure someone's going to tell me there was a purpose to this, but we had an orange and we had dolly mixtures. So, I thought that was pretty cool. But we also had fucking shitloads of rehearsals, singing after singing after singing, the Silent Night. And what happened with this Christingle service was we all stood in the corridors in our little school uniforms and we held our Christingle, our little orange, and there was a candle that was lit in the middle. Woe betide if we tried to nick any of the dolly mixtures before we actually sat down. And then some amazing perfect prefect would stand on the stage and would sing a cappella of Silent Night as we all marched in through the parents and the rest of the school to sit down, and then we could actually inhale all our dolly mixtures. Well, obviously, I'd inhaled the dolly mixtures before I even got in there, which got me in a bit of trouble. But I digress. This is not about the Christingles or the oranges or the dolly mixtures or my slight rebellion when I was 12. This is about the rehearsals. So there we were in rehearsals, Silent Night on steroids, all of the other songs, the school song. And again, I was singing away. And at that point, the bitch of a teacher turned around to me and was like, "Sarah Knight, you cannot sing." I think she might have said it in front of quite a lot of people. And she told me just to mime again. So I mimed. And that self-talk, that self-doubt that squirreled in, then became part of who I was. So, I mean, it's singing. And, I know there's bigger things here, but, bear with me. There's method in my madness. So there I was, never singing again. I mimed. I even mimed to the fucking happy birthday song when I was singing happy birthday to my kids. I didn't think about the fact that could I actually sing, or should I sing, or should I just belt out a little bit of Madonna or, Howard Jones when it was coming. I might have done it in my bedroom. And I just believed that I couldn't sing. So I didn't. Because what our brains do is our brains inhale so much information that they have to delete, distort, or generalize the stuff that comes in. And what those two things did to me, what those two comments did to me, was they told me I couldn't sing. So I generalized that information and I believed that I could never sing. I could never actually sing again. Fast forward a lot of years and husband number 2 comes on the scene. Actually, I need to stop calling him husband number 2 because that will make you think that I'm going to go for husband number 3. I'm not. He's definitely the final husband because this is the hardest training program I've ever run. But husband number 2 is a musician. Who knew I'd end up with a musician? His family are like the Von Trapps. Whenever we go there, it's literally get the guitars out, have a big sing song. He does not believe that somebody cannot learn to sing or cannot be taught to sing. Now, I know what you're thinking. You actually are now starting to think that all of a sudden I became this amazing a cappella version of myself and I can sing like the angels. Well, actually, it's crock of shit. I can't fucking sing at all. Can't sing for toffee. And I've gifted that talent to my children. However, I no longer give a shit. And that's the point of it, because I stopped listening to the narrative of my brain that was holding me back. I stopped listening to the self-doubt. And now, if I want to belt out a little bit of George Ezra, I'm desperately trying to think of something cool and I can't think of anything cool. I'm still going back to Fleetwood Mac. I'm still thinking about, a little bit of Annie Lennox, like belting out a bit of Annie Lennox. I do it. Now, I mainly do it in a more private setting than I would necessarily walk down the street and belt out a little bit of music. But I don't care anymore because I've done the work on myself to understand that actually that was somebody else's perception and judgment. And yes, I am never going to be on the stage singing people because I sound like a herd of cats, but I don't care. And the fact of the matter is we have to work on our self-doubt all the time, whether it's somebody telling you that you can't sing, whether it's somebody in school telling you can't catch a ball or you can't be in that team. What happens is those narratives grows arms and legs and spidey senses and your brain generalizes it. So you believe that's how you go through. If you've had that boss that's turned around to you and said, you can't speak up. I had a boss that told me once that I was too loud. So then I shrunk and I was a bit more quiet. I had a boss that told me that I was too fun. I mean, who tells someone they're too fun? Because actually then I believed that we had to be too corporate. And we listen to this and we listen to this constant narrative and then we start to tell the story to our brain. And then that allows us to doubt ourselves and it allows us to knock our confidence. And one of the things that I talk to about all the women that I work with, whether I'm working on group programs, whether I'm working with C-suite executives in fucking massive companies or early years careers or people moving into management positions, I can tell you that the one thing that comes up time and time again is self-doubt, second-guessing and confidence. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to just give you a little bit of the hints, tips, techniques that work for me, my signature frameworks that might help you put that self-doubt in the bin and believe in yourself and believe in your potential, believe in your ability. And like Kate said in the episode, build your receipts. Because here's the thing, if you are waiting for confidence to come before you act, you're going to be waiting a bloody long time. Confidence doesn't come first, action does. You don't find confidence, you build it. But confidence needs evidence. And today what I want to do is just give you a couple of different techniques. So there's no more waiting for that confidence to come. You are cracking on and you are pressing play on your ability to move forward in any given situation. For me, though, that never involves singing on stage. We've been fed this myth, once I feel confident, then I'm going to do it. And it's actually utter bananas. It's a crock of shit. You'll never feel ready. There'll always be something that challenges you, especially as a woman. As a woman, you are going to look at all the different things that could go wrong, should go wrong. It's called survival instinct. So you have to be able to build it. You have to be able to create and build the evidence. Confidence isn't a magical gift where some women are born with it and others aren't. It's built through action. It's a muscle. And just like your body, if you don't use it, it will weaken. The other voices in your head will become louder. There's been loads of times where I've doubted, I've second guessed, and I thought, who even the fuck am I to do this? Like this podcast. 2 years I waited to do this. I wanted to do it. I kept thinking about doing it. And then I was like, oh, I'm not sure it's me. I'm not sure I can do it. Look at all these other people doing it. And then I just did it. I took the action and I cracked on and I bloody love it. I'm really enjoying it. So you don't need more time. What you need is more receipts. Confidence grows from this all-important evidence. So every small action that you take is proof that you can do it. You can do more. You can do it again. And self-doubt is so loud because your brain isn't wired for success. It's wired for safety. It's wired for making sure that you're going to keep safe in a little cocoon forever. But also that can sometimes stop us taking risks, stop us stretching ourselves. That's why every single time you're about to step up, your brain will throw out all the fucking reasons why you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're not experienced enough. It will second guess you when you're walking into that meeting, into that pitch of your life, into that presentation. It will maybe try and hold you back when you're walking onto that stage, when you start to write the book, when you start to write the podcast, when you go for that promotion, when you set your business up, when you scale your business. It's not about waiting for a sign. The only sign you need is your own decision to move. So how about you try this? I've got something that's called the press play power shift, the press play pivot. So what I want you to do is I want you to simply accept the thought, name the thought. What we try and do with self-doubt is we try and push it and we try and bury it. Actually, it's not about that. It's about accepting it. It's about accepting it and it's about looking at what self-doubt is gifting us because it is about protection. Is it telling you something that you need to do a little bit more of? Is it gifting you some information that you can twist and turn? Or is it noise you need to turn down? So pause it and name it. Call it out. Self-doubt is a habit. Self-doubt is self-talk. It's a learned behavior in your brain. And what we need to do is we need to create a new neural pathway that is all about confidence, that is all about action. And we do that by flipping the thought. So instead of thinking something like, I'm not ready to scale my business, I'm not ready to stand on that stage, I'm not ready to take that on, flip it. I'll never feel ready, but I am capable. And then take action. Our environment is absolutely key to how we move forward. I talk a lot about being in the right rooms. So it's about taking action to what that step looks like. Tiny step. What is the tiny step that you can take to showcase your capability? Writing down your idea, posting it on social media, holding yourself accountable to it, ringing up somebody and talking through it, getting that advice with the right person in the right room, because that's quite key. Confidence is built in real time. It's not built in your head. So the other thing that I talk to people about is my no more next time rule, because this is the other thing where self-doubt creeps in. What you do is you convince yourself of a little bit of a narrative. Oh, I'll do it next time. I'll do it when. I'll do it if. I mean, everyone does it with fucking New Year's resolutions. I'll do it in January, because in January, all of a sudden, the world's going to change. No, it's not. It's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to do more exercise next week. I'm going to read that book next week. I'm going to go outside more next week. You know, the tiniest things make the biggest actions over a period of time. So every time you hear yourself or you think, or that little thought niggles your noggin of, I'll do it next time, and you're gifting yourself that excuse, actually, that's your signal to crack the feck on. That's your signal to take action now, because next time is where your confidence is going to go and die. We delay action because we're uncomfortable. But one of the most powerful things we can do is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute that's about wearing a G-string, because I just think that's wrong. People that walk around wearing G-strings, I think, oh, you must be really uncomfortable all the time. What I am suggesting is you put your best pair of apple gatherers on, but you stretch yourself a little bit. Not feel the fear and do it anyway. Not jump out of a fucking aeroplane, but just stretch yourself a little bit. Stop delaying the action. Stop delaying what you can do and how you can move forward. So you've got the power shift where you're flipping the thought. You've got the no more next time rule. And then there's the thing that Kate talked about. Confidence needs evidence. We need to keep the receipts. The fastest way to build your confidence is to keep the bloody receipts, people. And what does that mean? That means actually acknowledging and reflecting the brilliant stuff that you're doing. How often do you do that? While you're listening to me now, just think about all the good stuff you've done in the last week. Think about all the wins. Because what we do, especially as women, is we're always looking at the next mountain to climb. What's the next job? What's the next thing we need to do? How do we need to do it? So it might be that you start a wins journal. I used to have a cupboard of achievement. I used to put sticky notes on the back of a cupboard. And that reminded me every single time I got my coffee cup out that I was brilliant and I was capable and I could do this and I could crack on. It might be a notes folder on your phone. Create a notes folder with the words allow at the top, which is allowing yourself to give yourself permission to move forward. Reflect. What have I learned? What have I won? Because studies show that when we track our wins, we increase our sense of competence and confidence. So if you don't log your success, your brain's going to forget it's happened. We have to teach our brain to acknowledge brilliant things because then it feeds our reward center and then we want to do more of it. But we have to give ourselves that narrative. We have to switch the self-talk into all the good stuff and not the stuff we doubt ourselves about. So next time self-doubt creeps in, flip it and move. Next time you catch yourself saying next time, that's your signal to take action. And track your wins. Your confidence needs receipts. So this is me to you saying this is your call to action. No more waiting, no more overthinking. You already have everything you need to step up. Now it's your time to do it. It's your time to crack on. Now, if this little mini pod, is that even a word, mini pod, mini episode, has resonated, what you might want is my Confidence Code Masterclass. So drop me an email and I will send you the link because that's where we actually explore how we build the confidence, not just in your head, in action, in a little bit more detail. I gift you the press play and crack on framework to stop overthinking and start moving. And importantly, we rewire your confidence with science-backed methods. It's all about science, about how we rewire our brains. It's not about theory, it's about action. If you're done waiting for that confidence to come, let's build it together. Remember, confidence isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And every single time you take action, you add another receipt to provide the evidence that you are the woman that you deserve to be. So press play, crack on, build the sodding receipts, and confidence will follow. Well, I'm off to have a little bit of a kitchen disco and to belt out a few old school 80s classics because I'm going to sing like I don't give a shit who is listening. I'm going to sing from the rooftops because I've got the receipts. There are also the receipts that say you don't sing brilliantly. But I've got the receipts and I'm going to sing my little heart out. What are you going to do today? Hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next time. Take care. As we button up another episode of It's Got Pockets, remember that just like that perfect dress with hidden storage, you've got pockets of potential. You can be exactly who you are meant to be with no one getting in your way, not even yourself. Just remember, you're not done yet. That plan B or plan C might be waiting for you. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to work with me, or simply want to connect, come and find me at sarahknightconsultancy.co.uk. On Instagram, I'm Ministry of Midlife, or on LinkedIn, you'll find me as Nighty S. See you next time.